It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning, 11th of April 2019. It's a minute past 8 CET. Piotr here, and this is a pre-London Open live market coverage on Global Light Forex YouTube channel. Before we start, as usual, risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind trading on FX, trading on crypto carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors who can sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, bit boring on the FX major side. I'm talking about euro dollar, I'm talking about the pound. A little bit more excitement on dollar yen, around 110.80. Actually, we didn't get there yet. But the Tokyo brought some short covering, so we will see what's going to happen when London will open. A little bit more fireworks on the crypto side, and we are gonna to discuss this few things as well. So let's start the London pre-London Open coverage right now. All right, so what do we have? During the Asian session we got Chinese CPI and PPI, both as expected. Also there was a EU summit, Brexit related. Looks like there might be an extension, or there is an extension towards end of the October. But also we get the information that it's a not hard deadline. So yeah, never-ending Brexit. Actually, pound didn't react yet, so probably everything is going to, if we are going to see any kind of the reaction, probably we are going to see that during the London or New York session. We just got, one second. We just got the German March final CPI, as expected, 0.4. In the meantime, there is a Bloomberg news in relation to the dollar yen. I'm gonna place it into the chat. So the German CPI final, as expected, 0.4. Within the next 40 minutes, we are going to get French final CPI, and practically that's it. If we are talking about the London session and the calendar, then New York Open, and at 2:30 we are going to get PPI out of the US, and we are going to get weekly unemployment claims. So that's the dollar related data, and nothing extraordinary, to be honest with you. And then where the fireworks may start, we are gonna to get Clarida, Williams, Bullard, all of them within 10 minutes, in between 3:30 CET and 340 CET. So that's where some volatility may occur. Again, it's also US cash open, so yeah, it's worth to remember about that. Later evening, 7:01 CET, 30-year bond auction, and pretty much that's it for a day. Nothing special, to be honest with you, if we are talking about the calendar. Good, because it might be more technical stuff. So let's have a look what we have on the chart, and let's start with dollar index, because there was some kind of the failure yesterday. There you go. All right, so I didn't change anything on that chart, so everything is here in place. So the latest consolidation, we were discussing about the possible failure 2 days ago, and yesterday we were discussing that during the ECB, if market will try to close above Tuesday high, that would be great. But looks like market was trying to get above Tuesday high, hitting the Friday low, right? And been rejected, right? So actually, it doesn't look good from the bull's perspective here on the dollar. Now there is a possible demand a little bit lower. The first one is around here, and it's a 96.80, but we were discussing the stronger one towards 96.65, 96.60. So we may actually do this that way to the left over here, right? And to be honest with you, that might, if we are gonna to translate into the euro dollar, that might bring finally this 113.30 test, all right? And we may see some bullish activity from, oops, eventually from here, right? If we are gonna to get back below 96.60, it may expose 96 and then 95 and stops below whatever we see here, with the possible demand based on the activity from the 20th of September 2018, right? So it's all about upcoming price action over here, 96.80, 96.60. Watch out these levels. That's the important thing. So let's get back to the platform, and let's have a look what we have on the particular pairs. Okay, so totally no fireworks during the ECB, during the CPI, no fireworks after FOMC, nada, not at all. Boring stuff, but anyway, that's how it looks, right? So we still got, let's get back to daily, we still got this previous ECB open high day over here, right? 7th of March, right? So we are talking about these levels over here, and that's above 13, right? We have to take into consideration this range from, what's the date? Jeez. We have to take into the consideration 14th of March, right? So that's the full range. Here we can change into the green, so it represents daily. So now we know where we are. Then also we are talking about the low of the 20th of March, right? The breakout over here, then we move lower. So all in all, the top of that range towards 1330 as a possible supply, and there is a possibility we are gonna to get there. But first we have to take out the combination of yesterday high and Tuesday high, right? So once we are gonna to confirm the failure of the move to the downside after ECB, right? If we are gonna to confirm by moving above and closing above, then we may try to make this kind of the measure. So we may look for stops towards 1330 and above, right? That's how I see the things. But first, we have to take out and close above this week high, right? That's how I see the things on the euro dollar for now. Any kind of the failure here with the move back below, that might be short setup, right? What I would like to see, eventually I would like to see the break, and let's have a look what we have with this ECB on a shorter time frame. Let's have a look what we have on a 5-minute chart, just to give you the full explanation what I'm gonna to look for. And we will go even lower. That's the 5-minute chart, break to the downside. Look what is going on right now here at Frankfurt Open, retest, and we may try to go higher from here, but we are gonna to switch to the lower time frame, to the 1 minute, to try to confirm that one. Hopefully you got my point. Breakdown, right? And we are above this level right now. Test Frankfurt, we'll see. Let's switch to 1 minute and let's have a look what we have on 1 minute right before the and it doesn't look that way. Can you see? That's the reaction. So we have to take out this high. So it looks a bit different on the 1 minute than what we have seen on 5 minutes. But anyway, I'm gonna to monitor this one as well. Especially the stop might be very tight here. We'll see. I'm going to monitor price action after the London Open, right? So anyway, trying to summarize euro dollar. If we are gonna to see the break, and if we are gonna be able to hold above post ECB spike, right over here, that might be long setup, and the distance we are gonna to get, it's the whole failure of this, so we can make the measure break to the upside, should bring us something towards 1330, right? Taking into the consideration that it's gonna be around 90, so we are talking about something around 40 pips. So stop shouldn't be bigger than 8-12 pips to get this 3R eventually, right? So what I'm gonna to look for from the long side is another retest after the London Open, trying to hold these levels and rally out of it. From the short side perspective, what you wanna see is eventually holding this zone, yellow zone, so holding this activity ECB related over here, right? You want to see this to hold, or you want to see failure with retest, and if we are going to get some stops to the upside, so your target post ECB low over here, right? That's how it looks. It's still range for now on euro dollar, so we have to adopt, we have to have scenarios for both bulls and bears to try to read this this market. But anyway, do not expect big fireworks, at least for now. Maybe US session will bring us something. Maybe the FOMC members are going to bring some volatility. Would be good to see some kind of the real breakout. Either way, to the upside, to the downside, doesn't matter, but to see the breakout or breakdown, right? Okay, that's how it looks from the euro dollar perspective, and that's what I'm gonna to look for during the London session. On the other hand, we were discussing a bit about the dollar Swiss franc yesterday during the New York live market coverage. And here dollar looks a little bit better. I mean, bulls managed to get back above parity, right? We are trading 23 pips above the parity right now. Now, why I like the price action to the upside? All right, let me explain. We are trapped a bit here, but anyway, what happened yesterday, the most important thing that we managed as bulls, we managed to close, all right, above on a daily, so green color, we managed to close above the high from the 20th of March, right, when we saw this strong sell-off, where we took few stops, as you can see, right? So that's the positive, and we managed to close the day above, right? First daily close above. So what I'm looking for is some kind of the pullback to Tuesday high or Monday range. So the pullback towards the weekly open here, right? Where I'm gonna to look for long setup. We are gonna to discuss in a second on a smaller time frame, right? I've mentioned that we are trapped a bit because this attempt to break higher from the 7th of March, right? So we have to fight with this level. That's where we stopped yesterday, right? That might be challenge. That might be challenge. But anyway, if the bulls are gonna be able to hold above this range, it might bring us attempt to attack the stops above 101.25, and if we are gonna to manage to close above 101.25, 101.30, that might bring retest of the high towards 103.50, right? So from the risk perspective, let's switch lower. From the risk perspective, we are talking, okay, about what I'm gonna to look for. Similar story what we were discussing on euro dollar, right? That was the strong move to the downside. The strongest was here, all right? The strongest was here, and what we actually hold. Right now we are above whole price action during that day, right? So what we have possible intraday demand inside possible daily demand, all right? So what I'm looking for here, I'm looking for some kind of the pullback towards the parity, all right? Let's have a look what we have on a smaller time frame here on dollar Swiss franc. That's what I like over here. It's parity, right? Where this Niagara Falls. Over here, so we can try to place the line as well somewhere here. It's like 50% of that zone. That's what I like as well. Again, it's parity. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna to look for longs, and it might it might end up it's gonna be instead of looking for failure on euro dollar, looks like some kind of the continuation on dollar Swiss franc may happen. And yeah, I like a little bit more if we are talking about the long dollar side. I like here a little bit more longs on dollar Swiss franc than the shorts on euro dollar, at least for now. We'll see what London is gonna to bring to us, right? All right, so that's what I see here. Would be great to get pullback first towards the parity, and then to try to take out yesterday high and stops here, right? And try to attack this supply from daily. Why would be better? Because if we are gonna to approach this stop count eventually with longs already in place, right, we are going to have plenty of time to manage the position, right? But if we are gonna to first take out the stops, then we have to be very careful when market will try to get back towards the parity, right? Because it's gonna be after some kind of the failure, right? So it might end up that there are gonna be strong bearish activity, right? And in that case it might be better to wait for a daily close. So yes, I would like to see some kind of the pullback towards the parity around the London Open, and then attempt to go higher, because then there are gonna be plenty of time for us to react in case we are gonna to see just stop hunting and pullback, right? Then we can manage stops, we can do plenty different things, right? That's what I'm gonna to wait for. That's what I'm gonna to look for after the London Open, right? And yeah, see, they even didn't get closer to 85. Gee. All right, British pound. For now, no change to what we discussed. Bigger picture, 129.70, 130 from the if we are talking about the bottom of the range, and 133.80 if we are talking about the top of the range, so wide range based on the daily. If we are talking about the intraday, again we are talking about some kind of the range. We are talking about the levels related to the weekly low, and there is a possibility to create over under and try to rally from here. We are talking about the levels towards 30.25, 30.20, all right, and the possible supply first towards 31.35 over here. So actually this week high, okay. That's the narrow range, and there is completely no change in view. the possible setups we were discussing, right? Failure or breakout, failure or breakdown. That's no change in view. The same approach because we didn't get the action yet here, right? And that's actually, I'm surprised. I thought that there are gonna be some kind of the volatility yesterday on pound, but yeah, we didn't get the volatility on euro dollar, and we didn't get the volatility on the pound dollar, and yeah. So that's how the things looks like here. So there is completely no change. So let's move on. Oil, all right, sitting short oil after the EEA yesterday. All right, if I'm gonna to be stopped out, I may reopen on a stop hunting and rejection, right? So if I'm gonna be stopped out, I might decide to reopen. Yeah, a little. I wouldn't say I'm bearish like hell and that we are going to change the direction, but no, not at all. What I'm talking about, I've been trying to explain yesterday that I'm looking for some kind of the pullback and retest at least 60 to 40, if not 60, right? The psychological level. Yeah, eventually the bullish side, I'm looking for eventually the zone we were discussing yesterday. I'm looking for eventually pullback and retest of this zone from daily, and here we may see some bigger bullish activity eventually. Just right below 60, it's the top of that range is around 59.70 based on the chart I'm using, right? Indices, DJ, there was no price action I've been looking for yesterday. We stopped right at the Tuesday low, right? I've been thinking about a little bit higher levels towards Tuesday high. It didn't happen. We might see today. Let's switch lower. I'm gonna to explain what we are talking about based on an intraday chart. That that was some kind of the range we were discussing, and I've been awaiting, I've been watching for possible break higher to retest this Tuesday high based on the doubling the range approach, right? It didn't materialize. It's on one side, one can argue that it's showing the the bears are a little bit stronger currently. I would say not necessarily. Of course, what we may see here, it might be breakdown, consolidation, continuation. It might happen, all right? But taking into consideration the latest rally, we have the possible, it's very narrow, it's getting narrower, right? So that's where the possible demand is awaiting. So based on my chart, it's right below 26,000 down towards 25,825, right? Based on the chart I'm using here. So that's how I see the things on the indices. And Nasdaq is a little bit better to the upside eventually. Earnings seasons coming, so yeah, there is a possibility we are going to see a little bit more volatility here. All right, and finally, let's switch and check the markets where we get some kind of the volatility. And of course, we are talking about the crypto market. There you go. Let's first start with trying to analyze what's happened yesterday and today during the Tokyo session. There was an attempt to break higher right? So there was a, trying to translate, there was a latest rally, then there was some kind of the consolidation, base creation, right? An attempt to break higher. So rally, base, rally. But what happened yesterday, we failed. As a bulls, we failed. So strong profit taking, right? But guys, if you remember what we are discussing, and at least for now, looks like it's worked perfectly fine. Now, if you remember analysis based on the monthly chart, if you remember this huge range here from September 2017, the whole range as a possible demand based on the monthly chart, right? So top of that range, what happened? We finally broke out, so the sell-off, profit taking stopped right at the top of that range, right? So it's gonna be better visible here, right here, at least for now, and it's a very, very good sign in my opinion. In case we are gonna to anyway move lower, then there is a next demand based on this latest weakness, right? Highlighted in yellow, it should be, as it's a daily, it should be highlighted in green. Sorry, let's make it green. So in that case, we are talking about the 4,400, 4,200, and that's around the top of their broken range to the upside, right? The original latest range, right? But for now, doesn't look bad. It might be some kind of the washout, so the weakest longs were probably forced out of the market, and I'm not gonna be surprised if you are gonna to see the rally over the course of today, tomorrow, towards the end of the week, right? Because I think still there is a chance we failed around 5,400, so that's the base drop, right? But no, still I think that the biggest breakdown level 6,000, 5,800, right? After such a long consolidation, when we saw the breakdown never been tested or retested after the breakdown, and that's what we discussed a few times, that this 5,800, 6,000, especially if you are going to take into the consideration move based on the ranges, size of the range, right? The 6,000 still in play, and if you are monitoring my trading view channel, crypto related, I've been talking about this approach, that at some point we are gonna to see the washout, so the weakest longs are gonna be forced out of the market, right? And hopefully, because I'm bullish, I'm not afraid to say that. So hopefully that's what happened. We just retest and we will run away. So yeah, that's how I see the things here. So let's have a look what we got on Ethereum. And here looks a little bit better. Okay, what we have here. The most important thing, there is a huge breakout above the high from December 2024, December 2018, and the high from 24th of February this year, right, 2019. So we have this huge breakout to the upside. What happened here? After the breakout, we retest the possible supply based on the range from the 18th of November 2018, all right? So that's what we had here. Okay, and we took that stops out as well. So I would say that we are right now, we are about to retest broken supply, it should theoretically it should work as a demand, right? But I would like to work not with the upper shadow in that case after the breakout. I would like to work with the bodies. So in that case we are talking about the possible demand a little bit lower, down towards 160 this time, right? So I'm when the supply is broken and when it should work as a demand, I do prefer to work with open close levels than with the shadows, especially on the crypto side, right? So in that case, a little bit deeper pullback may occur. So let's have a look what we have. If we are gonna to get the same size of the pullback what we've seen after the initial breakout, right, that might bring us exactly towards 160, and as long as we are based on a daily close, as long as we are above the green zone, the bulls should be fine, right? There is a little bit more blood on the street within the alts sector, but it might be, of course, depends on the price action, but it might be the nice pullback to try to use it and try to accumulate cheaper some good names, but that's something different. As I mentioned a few times, I'm preparing the separate meetings here on Global Light Forex YouTube channel, strictly crypto related. So we are going to have like 30 minutes to discuss the situation. It's coming, but still need time to prepare it properly. All right. Okay, so that's how I see the things today. So that's how I see the things today. Watching euro dollar, I'm not sure about the pound dollar, I'm not sure about the dollar yen, and monitoring closely dollar Swiss franc. All right. Just a reminder, our next meeting is tomorrow. We are going to cover again live pre-London Open. So you are more than welcome to join me tomorrow morning at 8 AM CET. That's it today from me. Be careful, don't be trapped, right? And let's have a meeting tomorrow. Have a good day, guys. See you. Goodbye.